Hi again, everyone, and welcome to day 13. I do hope that you've had an amazing week and you're looking forward to the weekend. Anyway, let's go back to the basics, and that is unveiling the Civility Advent Calendar for the year 2019. And I did say, for the benefit of those who are watching for the very first time, that the nuggets this year was going to be taken from a book by Dr. P.M. Foney, which I have right here with me, Choosing Civility. Once again, before I continue, can I just mention that I really appreciate your time, your messages, your shares, your likes is all appreciated. So please do keep them coming, and I hope that you're also putting to good use all the nuggets that you've been taking for the past couple of days. So day 19 of the 25, day 13. Wow, I beg your pardon. Looks like I can't wait for Christmas. Okay, so it's day 13, like I said earlier, of the 25, the rule 13 of the 25 rules of considerate conduct. And rule 13 says, keep it down. And in bracket I've got here, and rediscover silence. Keep it down. And in bracket it says rediscover silence. I'm sure a lot of people would agree with me if I say there's a lot of noise pollution around. Indeed there is. These days, in fact, sometimes I wonder when you go out, like, where exactly are you? There's so much noise everywhere. You can't even hear the person that is next to you at times when you're in some places. So today, Dr. Foney is telling us to keep it down. It's important, and you would see the reason why in a minute. First of all, I'm going to read the quote I've got down here by Blomberg. And it says, my right to swing my fist, I beg your pardon, I'm going to start again. My right to swing my fist ends at your nose. My right to make noise ought to end at your ear. Okay, so what do we think about that? All right, I'm going to go very quickly into what Dr. Foney has to say about keeping it down. And here he specifically said, the importance of why we need to be careful with the volume, like rather than the song that says pop up the volume, is saying tone it down. Why it's important that we want to ensure that, when we're out and about, we try and keep the volume down. It did mention how important it is, especially in certain places like, a place of worship. Yes, a place of worship. It said it's a place where we need to reverence God, and so it's a place where people are there to listen to the word, to pray, to worship, and so we need to keep the noise there down. Even if you have younger children, we need to be able to control them, most especially when worship is going on, or maybe the word is very important. Wherever you're worshiping, it did encourage keep it down. Keep it down at the restaurant, because you have to remember you're not the only person there, and the other people as well want to be able to hear themselves while they're having their banter. Also, it did mention keeping it down even at libraries. You would wonder why somebody would go into the library and make a noise anyway, because I believe that you're there to read or to study, whatever the case may be. So it did say that except for the areas where it's permitted for group discussion, then we have to realize that you're in the library and you need to really keep it down. Also, he mentioned about theaters, movies. Sometimes, people go to places like this and you see them even discussing the movie while it's going on, whilst others are trying to concentrate. You have loads of time to go back home, or maybe over dinner with the people you've gone out with, and then discuss whatever it is that you learned from watching the movie. So it encourages each and every one of us that when we're out in those places, actually the right thing to do is to put your phone on silence just before stepping in. So you don't want your phone going on or going off, sorry, at the library, place of worship, theater, movie, name it. Also, when you're playing your music at home, you want to be considerate of your neighbors, watching TV as well. When you're having games, try keep it down. Always remember that there are other people around. Some may be trying to sleep, some may be doing other things, but it's important that we are considerate of other people. And then he said something very important. He said, there's a quote here which emphasizes that, which says, let us be silent so we may hear the whisper of the gods. And that's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. So sometimes you realize that even in your spirit, you need some quietness sometimes where you'll be able to hear the Holy Spirit. For me, as a Christian, when there's so much noise, at times you can't even engage with your being as well, not to say even being able to hear things that have been whispered to you at some point in time. So it's encouraging us that it's also good for our sanity. It did also mention that you will be surprised that lack of silence or too much noise is also been ascribed to a lot of health challenges that people hear as well, like deafness. Well, not completely deaf, but hearing problems is one of it. So people lose their means of hearing. Some stress related due to so much noise around, and high blood pressure as well. So noise on its own is a pollution. So we need to understand that even for our health purposes, health reasons, we need to keep it down. So I'm encouraging us today. Like I said, it's a season where, of course, I know shopping here and there, there's going to be a lot of noise all over. But if you try to keep it down, and as many as possible around you do the same, we'll be able to reduce the volume or the amount of noise we have all over. And of course, when you go for the dinner, remember, tone it down. When you're out there having fun, watching the movies, don't forget, have your phones in silence. And sometimes if the noise is coming from you or your children, then it's your responsibility to take charge and look for a way to control them and put them in order. It's always good to teach them from a young age the importance of being considerate of the other people next to them. So I do hope as you enjoy your weekend, you take note of these things and you practice them as you go along. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. It's me again, your friend Buki Odishote here, and it's always a pleasure to be out here speaking to you on Civility. Take care.